Unbeaten start to the season ended at Anfield last night. In this video, I just look back at that performance and see where it all went wrong. Hello, I'm Richard and welcome back to my channel over and over and over again, which features everything to do with Arsenal. In this video I just want to look back at last night's defeat at Liverpool in a little bit more detail. But just before I get into all that, I just want to make sure that you are subscribing to my channel. If you like what I'm doing, please click the subscribe button below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up as well, because it does help it to get noticed on YouTube. And if you've got any comments about this video or the match last night, please drop them in the comments box as well, because I do like to hear your thoughts on my videos as well. That would be really appreciated too. So last night then, Liverpool, it was always going to be a very difficult game, wasn't it? I mean, this is a very good Liverpool side, of course, Premier League champions, the European champions the year before, World Club champions, and although we'd beaten them towards the end of last season, and of course beat them on penalties in the Community Shield as well, they're a totally different prospect at Anfield, aren't they? It's been 60 odd games since they last were beaten at home in the league, so it was always going to be a big ask, wasn't it? And in terms of the team selection, I don't think there was too many surprises. Maybe Gabriel dropping down to the bench after his two good performances, but I think bringing David Luiz in from the start with his experience of the Premier League, with his experience of big games like this, I thought that was a good decision. And obviously it was great to have Kieran Tierney back as well, having missed the West Ham game with that injury in the warm-up. The other change you saw, Mohamed El Neni replaced Dani Ceballos in midfield, as he had done at Fulham. And in the Community Shield as well, and I thought that was just to give us a bit more defensive stability in midfield. And of course, Ainsley Maitland-Niles started at left wing back as well, position that Arteta seems to like him in these big games, doesn't he? He's played him there quite a few times, again maybe for his slightly more defensive stability that he brings. I just felt as though in the first half we were very passive. We sat off them too much. We allowed Liverpool to take the game to us. And I know you can't go to Liverpool really and be too open. I mean, I know Leeds did, didn't they, in the first game of the season, and caused Liverpool a few problems. I'm not sure whether that would have worked for us necessarily. And I could understand Arteta's thinking with that. I just felt in the first half we just invited them to come on to us. We were struggling to get out of our own half for much of the first half, wasn't we? It was a very difficult first half, and the only time we actually managed to beat their press did actually lead to us taking the lead after 25 minutes. It was actually a good move initially, and then of course Ainsley Maitland-Niles got clear down the left. It wasn't a great ball into the box, was it? And Andy Robertson somehow miskicked it straight to Alexander Lacazette, who just managed to squeeze it past Alisson, sort of miskicked it into the ground, and it bounced up over him. A very scruffy goal, if we're honest, but it gave us the lead. Now, when you take the lead in these big away games against the top sides, it's important that you hold on to that lead for as long as possible, because then the home team get anxious. And we wasn't able to do that. And of course, it had to be Sadio Mane who got the equaliser, because of course he should have been sent off, shouldn't he? Very early in the game, when he basically threw his arm into Kieran Tierney's face. It looked a blatant red card, and you know there was comments that it was too early in the game, but a red card offence is a red card offence if it's in the first minute or the 91st minute, and clearly that made an influence on the match, didn't it? If they were down to 10 men that early, it would have been a completely different game. I'm not going to use that as an excuse, because he wasn't given a red card, and Liverpool were the better team. But there's no doubt that if the right decision had been made, it would have been a different game, and we don't know what the outcome might have been. But it wasn't, and I say Sadio Mane was there to score the equaliser. It wasn't great defending, was it? Kieran Tierney got the wrong side of Mo Salah, so then when he got into the penalty area, he couldn't really put a challenge in. Know what Mo Salah's like, he would have fell over, wouldn't he? When his shot came in, Leno saved it. It was an okay save, but he pushed it straight back across the goal, and with the defenders all asleep, it's a simple tap in for Mane, wasn't it? Not a great goal to concede, especially that soon after taking the lead as well. If we could have kept in front till half time or for another 10-15 minutes, it may just have unsettled Liverpool a little bit, but we wasn't able to do that. We were back to square one, and it wasn't long, was it, until Liverpool scored a second goal. Again, it was terrible defending, really. Alexander-Arnold got the ball on the right hand side, put in a cross to the far post. Hector Bellerin had got sucked into the middle, so it left Robertson free at the far post, completely unmarked. Willian had started to track back but didn't follow him all the way back in. He maybe felt we had enough defenders to cover, but everyone was all over the place. Robertson had so much time that even though his first touch wasn't necessarily that great, it was still good enough to put him into the position to slot the ball into the net, to put Liverpool ahead. And it was 2 or 3 defensive mistakes cost us both the goals there. And unfortunately, when you play these top teams, you get punished for those mistakes. Simple as that. For us to have got a result away at Liverpool, we would needed to have made no mistakes like that really, and had a bit more luck at the other end. So unfortunately, that didn't happen. We found ourselves 2-1 down at half time, but we were still in the game. And to be fair, I thought in the second half we had a go at it, didn't we? We took the ball forward more. We had a bit more drive from midfield, especially once Ceballos came on after about an hour, and we started to cause them a few problems, which we hadn't done at all in the first half. Of course, Lacazette should have scored, shouldn't he? He had 2 chances, but I believe the first one, when he tried to dink it over the keeper, I think he would have been given offside for that anyway. But the second one, he certainly wasn't offside. It was a lovely ball from Ceballos, wasn't it? Split the defence. Liverpool's higher line this season, I'm not quite sure what they're doing with that, because he's going to cause them problems. To say we could have scored. Lacazette's gone clean through 1-on-1. He seemed to lack any composure or any confidence, didn't he, in front of goal, which is surprising because he scored 3 in 3 games. You'd have thought he would have been really confident in front of goal, but he wasn't. It wasn't a great finish, was it? And Alisson ended up saving it, and that was our chance then. If we could have got it to 2-2 at that point, but it would have been interesting to see what would have happened. I'm sure Liverpool would have got a bit more anxious, would have maybe committed a few more people forward to try to win the game, and it may have given us opportunities on the counter attack. But unfortunately, Lacazette didn't put that chance away. You could see when he got substituted a bit later how disappointed he was. He knew that was a big chance, and those are the sort of chances in these games that you have to take because you don't get many of them, and unfortunately he didn't, and it cost us in the end. Towards the end of the game, you could see Liverpool, they're good at managing those situations, aren't they? They're winning a game at home. They very rarely let that slip, do they? So it was always going to be difficult in the last 10-15 minutes. We made a couple of substitutions. Did I say Nketiah came on for Lacazette? I say Ceballos had already come on for Xhaka. And then Pepe had also come as well for Willian, didn't he? I'll get a bit more onto Pepe in a minute, but in the end, of course, Liverpool got the 3rd goal, didn't they? It was Diogo Jota, of course, their new signing from Wolves. He's a very good player, isn't he? And he'd missed an earlier chance, but again, the 3rd goal wasn't great defending, was it? Again, it was a ball into the box. Liverpool, you know what Liverpool are going to do? They get it wide and put crosses in. David Luiz's header wasn't the greatest, was it? It fell to Jota on the edge of the box, and he drilled the ball into the corner of the net. Kind of went through Bellerin's legs, I think, so Leno was a bit unsighted, couldn't get anywhere near it. There was a hint of handball maybe, but again, we're clutching at straws with that, aren't we? It's fair enough, they got the 3rd goal, and that was that. I mean, we still came forward towards the end, didn't we? Aubameyang had a chance, didn't he, when he ran through? Maybe should have shot. Instead he tried to pass it to Eddie instead, where he maybe should have gone himself. But the good thing for me was we were competitive in the game. We didn't roll over. There's been too many times in recent years when we've gone to Anfield and got absolutely hammered, and that wasn't the case this time. Yes, we did lose the game. We lost the game to a better team, and I think we need to understand that. But that shows us the level that we've got to reach. If we want to be successful in the Premier League, that's the sort of level that we need to reach on a consistent basis. We can do it occasionally, in the odd games here and there. We can produce those sort of performances, but we need to be able to produce them consistently, and we need to be able to produce them in these sort of big games. And to be fair, at this moment in time, we probably don't have quite the quality in the playing side to be able to do that consistently, do we? And this is why this transfer window, which has still got less than a week now to go, is so important, because you could see clearly last night that if we do want to get closer to Liverpool and closer to the top teams, we do need more investment, especially in the midfield area. I thought that was where we were lacking last night. So we lacked creativity, we lacked drive from midfield. It was better when Ceballos came on. I mean, overall, I can't say I'm too disappointed with how we played. I thought we went with a plan. It had worked for us previously against Liverpool. Unfortunately, it wasn't able to work this time because we just made too many mistakes. We were forced into errors because of their pressing. and that was the difference really. I think we didn't really press them enough, certainly not in the first half anyway. And I say, at least in the second half, we gave it a go. We created one or two chances, and with a bit more luck, we could maybe have got something out of the game. But as I say, I think it's clear that the areas we need to improve and we need to strengthen if we are going to be able to compete with the likes of Liverpool. Actually, I'm quite pleased in a way that we've discovered this so early in the season and while the transfer window is still open, because I do feel as though there was maybe a little bit of over expectation maybe on the team because of the way we finished last season, winning the FA Cup with some of those impressive performances and starting the Premier League season so positively as well. Maybe expectation has gone up a little bit, and maybe this is a bit more of a reality check for us. We can clearly see that we've got a long way to go yet. Doesn't mean we can't have a successful season, because I think we can. But in terms of the Premier League and in terms of challenging for the title, we are a long way off that, aren't we? And we're only going to get there with the right recruitment. We've got the right manager and the right coaching staff. I think that's obvious. You can see now there's a plan, but you can see overall the quality isn't quite there, is it, in certain areas of the pitch. The front three, I just want to say, were very isolated last night. Didn't get in the game at all. I mean, Aubameyang, apart from that one run towards the end, he hardly got in the game at all, did he? Willian the same. Lacazette did have those chances, didn't he? Unfortunately, he couldn't stick them away. But Nicola Pepe came on, didn't he, for Willian? And I have to say again, really disappointing. He's frustrating, isn't he? I don't understand what he brings. Honestly, I don't. He's obviously got a lot of talent. There's no doubt about it. He's a talented player. But is he maybe just not cut out for the Premier League? I'm not sure. Last year at Liverpool was his first start, if you remember, and he caused Liverpool a few problems, but he had no end product that day. He missed a couple of good chances, didn't he? I know it's difficult last night. He came on at a difficult time when we were chasing the game. I mean, a couple of his corners were dreadful, weren't they? But I don't know. I'm not convinced about Nicola Pepe at all. I mean, Willian didn't have a great game himself, did he? Let's be honest. And if there's still this talk of Zaha possibly coming in this window, then I certainly wouldn't be adverse to that. But I'm not going to go over the top on any player, really. I just feel as though we did the best that we could last night. It wasn't a bad performance. It was an okay performance. And I say a bit of luck here and there, one or two decisions maybe going our way. We could have possibly got something out of it. But the reality is we're a long way behind Liverpool, aren't we? And you could see last night that we probably gave as good as we had, and they were still a lot better than us in pretty much every department of the pitch. We've got some big games coming up, some difficult games coming up, haven't we? Of course, we're back at Anfield on Thursday in a Carabao Cup. I'm expecting lots of changes from both teams, although I think we'll play a similar team to one that played at Leicester last week. I expect a few players that didn't maybe feature too much last night will play, such as Bukayo Saka. Nicola Pepe will probably get a start, maybe Eddie Nketiah as well, and Gabriel might well be back in the defence as well, but we'll see. I mean, I'm expecting changes. I think Liverpool will have a completely different side, if I'm honest, although maybe Jota might play to get some minutes in him, because he's only just joined and that was his first appearance last night, but we'll see. I mean, we've got that's a big game coming up Thursday. We've then got some tough league games to play, haven't we? Sheffield United obviously this weekend, and then after the international break we've got obviously Man City away, we've got Leicester at home, and we've got Man United away, so it's not getting any easier. But these are the games that we need to show what we've got. We need to work on, Arteta will have seen the deficiencies last night, and hopefully we can put these right for these upcoming games, and hopefully by the time we play Manchester City away after the international break, we have got one or two new recruitments in to the squad, certainly in the midfield area, which obviously is going to improve the team. So that's that then. I mean, I say I'm not too disappointed. Disappointed with the result, obviously. It's never nice to lose a game, but it certainly was an improvement in the performance of recent years at Anfield. And we were maybe a little bit too passive, I felt, for too long in that game. If we'd taken it maybe to Liverpool a little bit more, we may have had a little bit more joy. But we didn't, and in the end we lost. It finished 3-1. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed that video. Please leave your comments in the comments box below if you want to add anything, or if you've got your own thoughts on the performance last night. If you're liking my channel, please click the subscribe button down below, and I say please give this video the thumbs up as well if you like it, because that is really important as well. I just want to thank everyone for your support for the channel. Obviously there's games coming thick and fast at this moment in time, so I'll be doing tomorrow, I'll do a full preview of the Carabao our cup game against Liverpool. Not a lot of different things to add, I guess, from this game particularly, but we'll see. I mean, I will put a preview together for that. I am hoping to do another live positive podcast as well. It's going to be slightly difficult to be as positive this week as maybe previous weeks, but if I maybe wait till Friday, if we come back on Thursday with a good win, it might be a little bit easier to be positive again. So I'll try to get that organised as well, and then of course there'll be coverage of the game on Thursday and also of the game on Sunday as well against Sheffield United, which will be another difficult game as well, won't it? Especially last season when we only took 1 point off them in the league, didn't we? Well, of course we did beat them in the FA Cup. So that's it for today. So I hope you enjoyed that. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done. Please stay tuned to the channel for some great stuff coming up. And of course, in the meantime, despite the disappointment of last night, come on you Gunners!